but they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
Talking about practice, not a game. We talking about practice.
Are growing out, and the only way the roots grow out every single day, and they grow stronger and they grow better, is if that we all water.
What? I'm out, man.
What's up? Happy Monday night after a week hiatus because it was Valentine's Day and we're both married men. We took last week off, but we are back. Welcome to an all brand new edition of Chip and Drip here on the AAT Sports Network and AAT Birds. I am Chip at Chip for the Birds, and this is JD at _Oracle. From the DJ Network.
It's supposed to be 00, like 007, 00 Oracle.
That's not nearly as much fun as me going, ooh.
Yeah, I guess not. Yeah, all right. All right, well, names are made to get changed, so.
Ooh.
Oh, we popping already.
We popping already. What we got? Adam, what's up? What's up? Chris, yo. She's around. She's here. This is Chip and Drip, not Chip and Mrs.
I mean, we gotta start having tea on more often.
We do.
Her.
Listen, we are mad close to March Madness, where the picks are on point. They are rapid. They are fire. They are rapid fire. It is hysterical. And she like I said, she almost won the AAT Birds pick'em last year over all of us.
I'm going to help her this year. I'm going to step in as a consultant.
Don't. Because her methodology, her bracketology is unmatched.
Listen, I'm going to help her. I won mine last year. I almost won $1 million last year. Like I was close into the end. Like I was still in it until the very end. So I watch college basketball.
Well, I do a little bit too. I mean, you know what? I definitely watch college basketball. In fact, why don't we talk about some college basketball right away?
Let's do it. Let's talk about it.
I like that little segue you did. So we're going to talk about some college basketball. And I think one thing that we need to talk about is the fact that Juwan Howard, head coach of Michigan, starts a fight. He was suspended 5 games. Thoughts? Because I know you have some.
Can we roll the video?
Well, I think we can roll the video.
Roll the beautiful bean footage. Beautiful bean footage. And this is like a little, we can talk over it. We can hear it. But this is what happens. And this is like, as a coach, this pisses me off. Because this is the game. You can tell 15 seconds left in the game. Now, he takes a timeout here. And he's going to tell us later on in the video why he took this dumbass timeout. But he takes a timeout here. And watch this part. As a man, you don't grab somebody like that. Like, you don't grab anybody by the arm, like on some, no, you're not walking away from me. Like, you're going to listen to me. First of all, Juwan Howard is 6'9". In this video, you see look, because he's so tall, there's 3 people down there in between them, and he still slaps this man with all get out. I knew he was going to get suspended, but this needs to be a reminder to people. Keep your personal space from people. Like, stop putting your hands on folks and hoping that somebody's going to break it up. Because all the time, it may not get broken up. That's all I'm saying. But here it comes. Here comes the part.
I didn't like the timeout being called, and I'll be totally honest with you. I thought it was, not necessary at that moment, especially being a large lead. And then for to have a timeout to be called with 3 seconds or 4 seconds to go, I thought that was, what I felt wasn't fair to our guys. And so that's what happened. Touching me unnecessary wasn't cause for that when we were talking. And at that point, I thought that was, time to protect myself.
He came up to me and pulled his max down and said, "I'll remember that." And he started pointing it at me and tapped me in the chest. And I said, "Hold on. Let me explain to you why I took the timeout." Maybe he doesn't know the rule that you get the 10 seconds reset. I wasn't going to put my players in that type of situation to have to break a press in 4 seconds.
Go ahead, Chip. You got to get, because I'm about to get pissed. I'm getting pissed all over again as a coach. My coach, Spidey Tenses, are tingling.
So There's a lot to break down. There's a lot to break down about this. So let's start off with the incident itself, right? He calls a timeout. He's up by a lot. You know, as Matt says, Juwan Howard has done the same thing, calling a timeout up by double digits with under a minute to play in the game. Okay. You're looking at the basketball side of things. Juwan Howard is pissed. He got his ass handed to him. He's feeling a type of way. The incident itself, if you are feeling that type of way, you don't get into the handshake line. So let's just start there. Start there. It was avoidable.
It was avoidable. I'm going to let you finish, and then I'm going to jump in because you said something that's really cool about this, and I like it.
Right.
Where you're going.
It was avoidable. Now, he got into the handshake line because you know what? He's got to set an example. He does the right thing. The Wisconsin coach stops this grown-ass man who is 2 times his size. Now you got to look at the other side of it. Wrong is wrong. If you want to have that conversation and how do you phrase it? Have a discussion about teaching him the rule when Juwan Howard played in the NBA for quite a few seasons at the very highest level.
At least 10. At least 10.
They have this thing now where it's technology, cell phones. You don't do it in the public eye, right? My biggest issue, though, comes with Juwan Howard let himself act out that way. He let himself be brought literally down to that man's level. He literally lets him get brought down to that man's level. And he was actually away from the situation. And because he's almost 7 foot tall, has his long ass reach, which is why Juwan Howard is suspended 5 games. Now, originally the NCAA came out and was like, oh, well, 1 game because his mask was off. That's a whole nother conversation because this mask thing is now getting to a point where it's like either do it or don't. Like you saw it in the NBA All-Star Weekend. We'll talk about that too.
Right.
Juwan Howard in a post-game handshake line threw the first punch and started a brawl. Yes, he was suspended 5 games. I think that's a fair punishment. I also think suspending him for the remainder of the season would have been a fair punishment as long as the Wisconsin coach also got something for instigating as well.
Which he did.
He got nothing. He got fined, I think, some amount of money. I am surprised that there were not even more severe consequences because in today's day and age, having all that technology, the immediate gut check reaction would have been fire him. I am glad that it didn't. But there was a lot to break down with this.
Okay. Can you please put up Michael? Can you put up Barrett's comment?
Got you.
Okay. So he said Howard is starting to chirp at him before they even made contact.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. To point this out, as a coach, and you said this earlier when it comes to I really don't believe you should have to get in the layup, the handshake line if it ended up controversial. We're asking, and it should be at the referee's discretion to send both teams to the locker room. If that's what we're at, if we're having a debated situation at the end of the game, I've coached high school games where that's happened. We've had to send both teams to the locker room because we're afraid they're going to fight. That has happened. I played in games in college and high school where we were probably going to fight if we had to shake hands. And that's adult people making an adult decision that children should not make. Like these kids are a lot of times, and sometimes I've been on teams where the coaches have been madder than the players have at each other. So this happens a lot. So before anybody says this is not par for the course, it is. There's some
it's absolutely par for the course with how intense and I mean that's a rivalry game.
Yep.
That's a rivalry game.
It's in conference, and it's a big deal. And all people not really understanding that, like Juwan Howard hasn't had a successful season like he's had in the last couple of years. I think they're 14-11.
They're 14-11, and they are. I mean, they will not make the tournament unless they do well in their tournament.
Right. So a lot of this stuff is now ramping up. Like it's getting way more serious for Juwan Howard because the expectations are really, really high for him at Michigan. So
and he's such a high-profile coach.
Exactly. So this is the next point. What Mike is also saying is that he went to the Turrigan before Juwan walks into the line saying, "I'll remember that." As a coach, that is par for the course. He's gonna remember that. Like, there's bad blood that's made all over the NCAA and in high school where these guys, if you take a timeout too late, a team will remember that, and if they ever get up on you, they're not gonna call off.
It's called bulletin board material.
Oh yes, for sure.
And you know, there's also a way to do it. Like, I'm around a lot of high school basketball where you can say, "I'm calling a timeout for substitution only."
And then he tried to play him. And then, he tried to play him like he might not know the rules. Like, listen, come on, bro. Like, now I'm with Mike on some of this stuff, but on the other part of it is, they may be going to the NIT, and that's fine for Michigan for the NIT. I think it is what it is. But my thing is, don't insult his intelligence after you got bitched and you ended up at half court when your assistant coach got his face knocked in. Like, your assistant coach got the slap that was meant for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot to be said about that, because to be real with you, what does 4 seconds bringing the ball up against a press when you're up by 15 points? They weren't coming back in the 15 seconds that it was going to take. Even if you turned the ball over, they're not coming back. This was petty. It needs to be known that it was petty, because 15 seconds to get the 10 seconds to bring the ball back up doesn't change things. Here, you could have just put the ball down and walked off the court, and you still would have won by 15. Or whatever the end score was. Like, people need to stop making this about something that it's not. These two coaches don't like each other very much.
And that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
But then don't force the handshake. So then here's my question. Having now seen this, having seen it with the 5-game suspension attached to it, is it fair? Is it fitting? Should it have been more? Should it have been less? Should it have been what are your thoughts on the physical punishment now of it all?
I think the coach from Wisconsin should have got one or something. He should have got something. Like, if it's a fine, okay, cool, but he should have had to sit out too, because at the end of the day, if he never touches Juwan Howard, he never fights him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and actually, I think it was Michigan. I think it was Michigan that suspended him for 5 games. Like, it hasn't even gotten to the Big East. It hasn't even gotten to the NCAA. This is literally Michigan going, you're done for 5 games.
And that's par for the course, I think. But hopefully hopefully they'll just echo that same sentiment, because they've not brought anything down on the Wisconsin coach, because at the end of the day, this all would have been avoided had he not even touched them. I'm a grown man. I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't put your hands on me. If I'm walking by you, there's a reason why I'm not talking to you. And if he is chirping before the line, then he's just chirping. That's not physical. It's a problem when they get physical. Like, when he slaps my man and grabs his whole face and like smacks him like this, like, that's a problem. But it could have been avoided by just letting Juwan Howard walk by him. Even if he chirped, there's no suspension, there's no kids fighting, because that's the main thing.
As soon as you grabbed him, fight or flight kicks in. As soon as you grab him, fight or flight kicks in. And it did.
And guess what, Chip? And he's from Chicago. He's not a normal and he's not a type of guy. Like, we know the Fab Five was known for like fighting and getting into stuff. Like, he's not that guy. I don't care. You can take the dude out of Chicago. You can't take the Chicago out of the dude. Like, there's a bunch of people who are kind of built like that. Like, they will get into a brawl if something go down, because it's just his nature. You don't ever see anybody touching Bobby Knight. You know what I'm saying? You never see nobody going up.
No, because they get a chair thrown at them.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a couple guys you just don't approach that way, and I don't know why. Whatever his name of the coach, thought it was what it was.
Yeah. I struggle with a couple pieces of this. I struggle with the fact that he didn't just make the right choice and just go to the locker room. You know what? Nobody would have said anything. He just goes to the locker room.
Right.
He says in his postgame, you know what? I was heated. I didn't want to make a bad choice for the students that I coach. Right? Because at the end of the day, we're talking about professional versus, college basketball. These are still kids. So you do have to set the example, because as soon as the head coach threw a punch, every kid went, all right, we're going. And that's where the rest of the fight comes in. Your head coach set a bad example. I think a 5-game suspension was legit.
I don't think that's going to be the end of it, though. I
don't either.
I think it's going to be more, and then by that time, it's going to get a lot more political, and it's going to be a lot more, another side of it shown that
Are
we don't
you
win.
implying that someone's narrative is going to be that the African American head coach was not able to keep his temper and there should be some sort of severe punishment as opposed to the white composed coach? There's no way that that's going to be the situation. No one would ever say such a thing.
Actually, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. I'm actually saying that because at the end of the day, that's what was. Because at the end of the day, as a Black African American, and I've coached in general, just as a coach in general, like I've been very strategic on how I coach. Like I don't press. I'm not
because you have to be.
You have to be to a certain extent. Like you don't want to be street of any type of sort. So to be honest, Juwan Howard could have been purple. He could have been purple, and had he done what he done, it would have been a 1-2 game suspension. But because of the nature that we were introduced to Juwan Howard, Fab Five, kind of street, that'd be like if Allen Iverson coached the team, and Allen Iverson team gets into a fight. They're gonna be like, "Oh, we gotta stop this. This must be mayhem. Like, this must be him." There, and to be honest, to be real, he should receive the penalty that he received. It shouldn't go much more than that. The team probably won't make many more games anyway. So even if you suspend him for 5 games, it'll more than likely trickle into next season because they're not doing well. Like they're not. Mike says the NIT, and I believe that he's about right. The NIT is probably going to be their swan song, unless this galvanizes them. Because this also could be a thing where they get super close now. Because now it's us versus everybody. My coach is willing to fight for me. It's like getting that technical foul and watching the team like play great after that.
Yeah, and I hear you that and the idea of firing up your team. I do understand that, but I think this is so much more than this. I feel like this is so much more of it's, Juwan Howard put his hands on this much shorter, whiter coach who all he wanted to do was have a conversation. Come on now. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy.
Zoom him. If you want to tell him about the rules, get the commissioner involved and Zoom, tell him what happened.
Come on, buddy.
Or you had a conversation with the referees because referees stick around a little bit longer. They know what the fans don't know what the referees are, but the coaches know. They put them up in a room and say, "Hey, listen, I want to bring Juwan in here and have you guys explain to them the rule."
But everything was by the book. Everything was by the book. So it was like you said. It was Wisconsin's way of punking Juwan Howard. Oh, all I did was call a timeout so that I could break this. Come on, buddy.
Why
you wanted to rub it in your face at a home game when you were up 15? You want to get your fans a chance to chant one more time. Like, come on, buddy.
But my thing is force. Okay, so let's say Chip, we both know basketball. At 4 seconds, you got to break a trap. If you call the timeout, now the ball is at mid-court. So you already get to advance the ball to mid-court, and then you break the trap with 4 seconds. If you can't throw the ball in on the other side of the court, then you got a real problem. Even if you turn the ball over, this game is not won or lost at this point in the game. So
no, the game is over. The game is over. And like I said, it's on Juwan Howard. He could have walked away.
He could
flat out. You did not need to go through the handshake line. No.
But when
you just go right to your locker room.
Not even
just
go right in the locker room.
If you're that heated, where you think that it could happen, you just go right to your locker room.
But you know what? And then they would have fined him. Because you know what? I thought about that earlier when I had a conversation with Prince. And I'm like, well, let's say he doesn't get in the layup line. Then we're having a conversation about Juwan Howard being a poor or terrible sport. I mean, it's not him slapping somebody now. So that means
at that point, I would rather him go, you know what? Look, I was angry. I thought that it was unnecessary display of coaching. And I did not want to do something that I would regret later on. Respect.
Fair.
But because he put himself in a bad situation. He did. Now, the part where the Wisconsin coach needs to have some sort of consequence is he put his hands on him first. You and I both grew up in households where I guarantee you the message was, don't you dare throw the first punch.
Yep. Now you can. Hey, I didn't finish.
Don't start the fight. Don't start the fight, but you can end it.
I finished many a fight now. Don't get me wrong. I didn't finish a lot of them. I ain't start a whole bunch, but I didn't finish a lot of fights. And the thing about it is we're in a world, in a society where people are told all the time, protect yourself, protect yourself, protect yourself. Okay, well, if you're trying to walk by somebody and they decide that they take it upon themselves to stop you from walking, what conversation are you really having when you started with a grab like this? Like, no, you're not. You're gonna listen to me. No, I'm not. Get your hand off me. I'm not fitting to listen to you. And then he got upset when he poked him in the chest when you started grabbing him. Now,
but again, he was so far back that the punch. Here's the thing: if it was when it was the two of them real close, and he just went, well, you know, a little quarter arm jab, it's a different conversation. But because he was so far back and his long reach got to him,
buddy. Yeah.
That's the problem. You know, Mikey's saying here, right? If the white coach did the same thing to the black coach, people would say, no problem. And he was just defending himself. Like, really? Yes, this is what we're talking about.
That's what we're saying. You know, I mean, we don't want it to be a color thing, but hopefully,
but you know it is.
If it gets to it, if they come down with a really severe punishment from either the NCAA or the Big Ten, and it's something more than what Michigan has already brought down on him, then we know where it's headed. Because now we're getting into they could try to sanction them where they can't go to postseason. Like, there's a lot more severity that could possibly happen with this stuff. And this is what you don't want. You know, this is what you don't want. You don't want it to be sanctions on the team going forward.
Mike's saying you also have to think about the point shaving issue. Yeah, look, Juwan Howard's time in Michigan has not been pleasant. I get it.
I don't think there's point shaving involved in it, though. They're already down 16. Like, them being down, getting 1 or 2 points, you know, whatever. If Juwan Howard is trying to alter the end of the games to hit gambling total, then that's. But we don't know that, Mikey. That's the problem, Mike. We can't say he's point shaving. He's rich. Like, it's not like he's not a regular coach that's, you know, I mean, standing to make a whole lot of money off betting. Like, he played in the NBA for 13 seasons or something crazy like that. Juwan's got bread. Like, now, if this is like a podunk coach that's just not getting a shot like an Ed Orgeron, then yeah, maybe I'll take the shot and say, hey, like, he's probably point shaving. But I think it was more about embarrassment to his team. Like, this guy took a timeout to embarrass the team, like, to get the crowd going, so on and so forth. Because if the ball is turned over, I'm not even sure Michigan scores that the next play. I'm not even sure if they score. Like, but you don't have to let it get to this point. That's my only thing. Look, the incident happened. It happened, and everybody saw it because it was a nationally televised game. You know, there was no Sunday football, so everybody was watching it, waiting for something. It was the only game in town. They kept the camera on as long as possible because that's what they do. You didn't have to put yourself in that situation. He did. The Wisconsin coach didn't have to put his hands on him. He did. Juwan Howard didn't have to throw a punch or a slap. He did. So there was wrong all around. I think that the 5-game suspension, so what turns out being the rest of the regular season, is valid. It's legit. Yeah. And I hope that's the end of it. I don't think it will be. I hope it's the end of it. I'm kind of with Mike's like logic though. Like, I'm like, okay, they're not going to make it very far. Even if they suspend Juwan, if the NCAA says we're going to suspend Juwan Howard for the rest of the season, he'll start fresh, season 1. They're going to make, and without him, they're probably not going to win very many games. So they're probably this is probably the end of them anyway. So they're probably going to lose out, and then they're going to be done. So that's going to rectify itself right in that motion right there. Season's going to end. Juwan Howard will start back next season. The problem Juwan Howard is now going to have is going into living rooms and talk to parents and say, hey, I'm going to take care of your kid when I'm known for trying to fight other coaches. Now,
he can spin it.
He can spin it now. I mean, if anybody can spin it, it's probably Juwan Howard. He's a smooth dude.
He can spin it. He can drop the whole, you know what? Go into people's living rooms. I will fight for your kid.
I will fight for your kids. And I'm just going to go there. He will say, I will fight for your child physically and literally. The only problem with him is, and I'm watching the thing again, there was 3 people between him and this dude. Any regular sized man would not have made contact with this dude. It would have just been a swing and miss. But because he is 6'9", 6'10", he swung and he connected. Like, if he would have just jabbed my man, it would have exactly. Yes, Mike. That's what I'm talking about. He's spot on. Now he get that extra little oomph, like, yo, like, listen, because when you go into hood places, well, you know, Chicago, because, you know, Chicago is one of his backyards. He's going to go into Chicago, and he's going to say, hey, listen, Like, they're going to tell you all this stuff about me, but I'm going to tell you one thing. I'll always fight for you.
He's going to go right into Michigan's background and go into Detroit and get some of those. Like, he's going to get some players that are physical, aggressive players. I don't know. Like I said, I think that the 5-game suspension is valid.
We'll see how
I'm hoping it's the end of it, but we'll go from there. I think that he's my issue comes in with the fact of the narrative that and the narrative that we've been teetering around. Mike Krzyzewski never fought anybody. Roy Williams never fought anybody.
Yeah, but so let's look at these teams. Let's break it down for a little bit. Like, let's say
let's go.
But Juwan Howard and them, when they didn't play for Boeheim, right? No, they didn't play for Boeheim. Boeheim's at Syracuse. But look at these guys, these general guys that we put in the top notch of the college basketball tree. It's Mike Krzyzewski, Roy Williams, Dean Smith before them, Jim Boeheim, John Thompson at Georgetown, the guy from Temple. There's a bunch of guys like John Chaney from Temple. You got a bunch of historical coaches, right? College coaches that are historical that never did this. But we're also living in a different world. Like, we're in a different world. Like, recruiting was different. Dude, nobody ever saw players fight anybody until Malice in the Palace. Like, we never saw that before. We saw them beat each other up, but we never saw fans physically get beat up. And we're just in a
Fisher.
Who?
That was the head coach of Michigan when he played. Steve Fisher.
Oh, Fisher. Yeah, Fisher. So Fisher and these guys, but think about it. Out of all that tumultuous place they were in when they were at Michigan, they never really got into fights. Like, him, C. Webb, Jalen Rose, they never fought anybody. Now, they might have fought in. Okay. Now, check this out. This is in a press conference. So
Thank you, Matt.
We know that the tempers be high.
Mm-hmm.
We know that. But it never got to that point because we never saw another coach grab another coach, though. So we never saw it.
And we're also talking about some of these legendary coaches, right, who coached in a time before social media. Like, this has been on constant replay.
All day.
It's been on constant replay. Why? Because basketball had the All-Star game, which we're going to talk about. Football's done. Nobody cares about the USFL and the XFL and all those things. Baseball's on strike. Go Phillies. The Flyers suck. So this is what's been on replay.
All day.
All day.
And everybody's weighed in on it from, the baby's goldfish. And I'm actually really pissed off at Stephen A. Like, I'm really done with him at this point in the game. I'm done with Stephen A. As an African-American man, he can't come to the cookout no more. He done. Like, he done.
Why? Whatever did he say?
I am trading him for Max Kellerman, and it's official now. He's been officially traded for Max. I just feel like, even though Max said that he should get disciplined for this, Stephen A. is like, I don't want him to get fired, but he probably will get fired. Like, and I'm like, bro, like, you in the national media. You're not just a regular dude. You got to be more careful, and you got to take more responsibility of what you're saying because it is what it is. And then, and on top of it, people are just different now. Like, people hold you to a high. He's the highest paid sports analyst now, period. Even more than Ahmad Rashad was back in the day. He's the highest paid sports personality. So when you say things like that, this guy, this jerk.
Should Juwan Howard be fired?
This was this morning.
I'm not going to go that far. I've got too much respect for Juwan Howard and the man and the player and the coach that he has been. I got a lot of love for this brother, and it's going to be very difficult for me to go to that point. But I will say this.
Come on, buddy.
He should be suspended immediately. It should be for the rest of the season. I'm talking about the rest of the season, the conference tournament. If they were fortunate to get to the NCAA's, that too, he should not be allowed to coach another game this season. And if he ends up getting fired, if he ends up avoiding getting fired, he would be a very lucky individual, because I'm of the opinion it's entirely possible that Juwan Howard is going to be fired within the next 24 hours. I don't think we can rule that out. I'm not advocating for it. I would never wish that on this brother. He's a good man and he's a good brother, but you cannot do what he did. You just can't.
It's funny how the same exact thing he just said just happened to this man. Whatever he thought,
minus the the regular the postseason stuff.
We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen.
We don't.
We still haven't seen what the Big Ten is going to do. We still haven't seen what the NCAA as a whole is going to do. So this is Stephen A. giving his recommendation for punishment.
Right. That was this morning.
And now by 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon and evening, we got something down from Michigan where they're going ahead and suspending them before the NCAA even steps in. Now, if they're doing that to save him and saying, okay, well, if we go ahead and do it to him now, maybe they will spare him going forward. We give something, bad enough to him ourselves, then maybe they won't step in. But I don't see it going that way. I see it being the latter. I see them going after him even more after the fact.
Hey, here's the 5 games, and now here's the rest of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you served your 5 games, but we don't want you coaching no more. I think we need more time.
I will say, though, if you fire Juwan Howard, and kind of like Barrera was saying, if you fire Juwan Howard at this point, you set the program back a significant amount of years because he has such a great recruiting class, because he's got the clout, because he's a Michigan guy, because he's the NBA player.
Yeah.
Like, you can't set your program back that far. So Michigan is going to do everything in its power to not fire him, but it might turn into an NBA directive or an NCAA directive, which I hope does not happen. I do like Juwan Howard. I think that he put himself into a bad position, and he reacted as a fight or flight would. He got pushed past that breaking point. He eventually went, you know what? I'm enough.
Yeah, I do think he made a mistake. I think anybody with a brain and a mind knows that this probably isn't how he wanted things to go down. But I think there's going to be a formal apology made later on by Juwan.
Oh, he's going to read something.
He's going to have to read something.
I apologize for my actions. I should not have tried to grab that man's face.
And hopefully, he'll mean it. Hopefully it'll be something that he writes, and he can not only because they both were trying to explain themselves in the press conference. Like, it was like, oh yeah, well I was trying to explain to him the rules, and like he didn't know.
Yeah, Matt saying I doubt anything else comes from it. I think Michigan and the Big Ten came together with this, and I really hope that's the case.
I hope so, Matt. I really
and
do.
Mikey, yes, everyone in his position would probably do the same thing. It is a human instinct to either fight or flight. Since he got himself into the line, he was ready to fight.
I mean, and he's from Chicago. People don't understand. The dude's from the inner city. Like, you don't just
coaches in Michigan.
Nobody, you don't forget these things. You don't forget you don't lose your nature. Your nature's still always there. You may become more wise, but man, we saw people fight up into their 70s. I done seen a 70, 80-year-old get into a fight in their zone before. So it's not
again, it's all about the instinct.
Yeah.
You can smooth, you can smooth yourself out a bit, but when all is said and done, you still have those human instincts. And that's what he acted on in that moment. And I bet you he regrets it, but I'm not taking it to the firing. I'm not taking it to the black versus white stuff. I'm not doing any of that. Yeah. And I can't wait to see Michigan versus Wisconsin in round 1 of the Big Ten tournament and Juwan's return. Yep. Because he's going to remember that.
Oh yeah, they're gonna try. If they get to play, Michigan will eliminate Wisconsin. They will not. And if there's anybody that allows him to shake hands after this game, you are asking for malice in the palace. Period. Because this is not going to be deaded. Like it's not going to be deaded. I'm telling you that.
And since you talked about malice in the palace, I think we got to go NBA. But let's break it up for a second. Real quick, I didn't do any of the sponsors yet, right? I'm going to do real quick. So we got a lot of great sponsors. Make sure that we get to keep doing this. So all these links are in the bio. Make sure you check them out. Statement Games, fun, free twist on fantasy sports. Make sure you're checking them out. We have the AATSportsNetwork.com/shop. Make sure you're checking out our merchandise. It's on fire. We have Symbol.com, the stock market for sports. Promo code AATSports when you sign up. La Terrain Luxury Watches. Use the code AATBirds at checkout for 10% off. Triple Threat Bets at triplethreatwagers.com. And, of course, manscaped.com is partnered with AAT Birds. Use the code AAT Birds for 20% off and free shipping at checkout.
Your balls will thank you.
Cool. Sponsors paid. How much All-Star Weekend did you watch?
I consumed way more basketball than I wanted to.
Okay. I watched like every single minute of it.
Are you a glutton for punishment?
So let's start with these events, right? So I did not watch a lot of Friday night. I did not watch a lot of the celebrity game.
0%.
Yeah, Matt watched 0%. 0%. I did not watch a lot of the celebrity game. Because MGK sucks at basketball. The Peloton guy was on as my wife is Pelotoning while eating a taco shell in the other room.
What's up,
Who's the MVP?
Peloton guy was the MVP. There was an incidental booby grab.
By who?
I forget who it was, but he went to go dab up. He was taking a free throw. Randy went to go dab up the person behind him, and he did a straight chesticle slap. And the woman was like, "My God, yeah."
Who was the woman?
I forget, but she tweeted out right away. She's like, "Yeah, he apologized. Like it wasn't like he wasn't like a honka situation."
She didn't want him to get canceled. It's all right. It's good.
Right. But it happened.
Ask T, does she know what the woman's name was?
Celeb game booby grab is what I'm now looking up on Twitter. Nothing came up.
That means it's not real.
No, I saw it.
I mean, the game really didn't happen. You were dreaming it.
NBA celebrity game incident. It happened.
It didn't happen. You don't know the person, and it didn't happen.
It happened.
Yeah, Matt says you hope this is not your work computer.
It is. Here we go. Brittany Elena on Matt James slapping her boob during the NBA Celebrity All-Star Game.
Brittany Lynn?
Brittany Elena.
Oh, yeah, I know Brittany Elena. Yeah, light skin John. She's a light skin John.
Hold on, I'm gonna find the video because y'all think I'm lying.
Don't find the video. I mean, I know who she is. She does the Millie Rock. She's the girl that does the Millie Rock before she.
I'm just trying to find. Hold on, Barstool Sports. That's what we need. I'm finding it.
You're going too deep into this. I'm telling you.
You're right because it happened. So anyway, this will be the most of the NBA celebrity game that I watched. Right.
You watch somebody get their boob grabbed, and that's what was.
No, I mean just trying to find the highlights of it. Again, he went to take a free throw, he took it, and then he went to give the high five behind, but he did a booby slap.
A booty slap or a boob slap?
Booby bosoms.
Oh, okay. Chesticle. Okay.
Yes, he hit them right in the chesticle. So that happened. Okay. It is my work computer. And then NBA All-Star Saturday night.
Yep.
So let me start off by saying this. And I said it on Twitter. All-Star Saturday night is my favorite night of the NBA season.
Wow.
I love the slam dunk contest. I love the slam dunk contest. I love the Spud Webbs, the Nate Robinsons, the Zach Levines, the Andre Iguodala who got robbed. Matt, you know we do this, right? The Aaron Gordons, the MJs, the Dominique like the NBA slam dunk contest is my jam. Vince Carter became a legacy because of the slam dunk contest. Now
we're gonna just smooth right past this part.
Now we're gonna start
put up T's comment. That's what you need to do.
Because it
was absolute dog trash.
As I put all over Twitter to the point where she actually said something to me, it was the All-Star Saturday night was the Cleveland of All-Star Saturday nights. It was
he is crucifying you on here, dude.
Awful. No, because she knows. Right? So we're gonna start off with the skills contest. The skills contest used to mean something too, because it was point guards doing their point guard thing. They were dribbling, they were passing, they were shooting. And that was it. Now they turned into this whole 3-round thing and this and that. Like it was too much. It was too much. Just give me Chris Paul versus Trae Young versus a Rajon Rondo. Give me these point guard, these skill players. Domantas Sabonis winning the thing. Like they did too much with it. I'm not cool with it.
Okay.
The 3-point contest was awesome because shooters can shoot. Now, do I still long for the days of it's just a straight 30 points? Of course, because those numbers were cool. But now it's like, all right, well, now they have their one rack, which they think they're going to do really well. So those are all 2-point racks. Plus, they've got the Trae Young shot or the Damian Lillard shot, whatever you want to call it. Again, you're doing a little too much, but at least the essence of it was the same. And then we get into the slam dunk contests, which should have been called, "Are you sure you can dunk the ball?"
Listen, man. I'm all right. Can I jump in here for a second?
Hold on, because I'm not even done, right? Bro wore an iPhone with his own highlight reel on it just to put it on. Then he took it off before he even attempted a dunk. Put it on, took it off, gave it to Isaiah Thomas, and then proceeded to miss literally every single dunk. You know, Cole Anthony, who I've never seen really ever dunk, spent 10 minutes trying to slip his shoes on just to dunk in Tim's. And oh my God, he dunked in Tim's. Cool. My issue with the dunk contest is, oh, well, this is an attempt for this. This is not an attempt. Put the timer back on and do it, make it go Birdman style all over it. Like the dunk contest, every single dunk that was thrown down was a in-game dunk. The dunks in the All-Star game were better. The dunks in the All-Star game were better. That's my issue. Right, for every announcer to say the dunk contest should have been done early in the night because it sucks so bad, that's how you know. Yeah, that was no longer the main event. That's a problem. And yes, Trae Young looks like Mr. Tumnus from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I know. With a little scarf, the little goat man. I know. I had a huge issue with the dunk contest. I was furious that I stayed up to watch it.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
I have some suggestions. All right. So if they were saying, JD, make our dunk contest suck less, I'm going to say, first of all, you got to get premier guys. Like,
correct.
You got to go back to the years of Jordan, Dominique, Spud. You got to have some legit battles. You got to have some legit battles, man. You got to have some guys.
Zach LaVine was right there.
Yeah, but Zach LaVine ain't who I want either. You know what I'm saying?
But it doesn't matter. He was right there.
I know what
I
you're
don't
saying.
want Jalen Green.
Chip, I understand what you're saying, but we got to get to a point where we get the marquee guys who are playing in the game to want
LeBron has never been in a dunk contest.
Right. The thing about it is, and that is partially because LeBron is a P word, but his
dunks aren't that great. They're just powerful.
That's the point. Dominique also didn't have great dunks. They were just mostly powerful. He did some stuff, but they were mostly powerful dunks, like a Daryl Dawkins. My thing is, the only way you can bring the slam dunk contest back to prominence is if you bring nostalgia back. Now, I suggest you get a wheel, like a wheel of fortune, and you take all the iconic dunks and you put them on a wheel that are spun, and you get told on the spot what dunk to do. None of this practicing for 4 weeks. You got your best friends, girlfriend's cousin out there throwing you alley-oop. None of that.
Like that was the other thing for me. Like, who was this guy throwing the ball? Who were these guys throwing the ball? Like, it used to be one of the rules was one of your dunks had to include a teammate. So AI throws the ball off the backboard to Andre Iguodala.
Right.
Steve Nash, karate kicks the ball up to Amari Stoudemire. Like, it was different.
All I'm saying is you're being an old guy. All I'm saying is bring nostalgia back. Have the wheel. Have the dunks predetermined on a wheel. You don't know which dunk you're getting, but each round the difficulty of the dunk gets harder. And whoever does that dunk the best, because a lot of this stuff they can't fucking do. Like, they can't do the dunk. So why are you
dunk contest horse?
I'm not against it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not against any of it. Before long, there's going to be NBA knockout because it's getting so drawn out and so.
It was so bad, like unforgivably bad. My favorite was like Jalen Green, through his in-game dunk contest dunk, and Kareem walked out of the arena.
I'm just at a point where like I just can't anymore. Like they don't get some guys in there. They need to X out. They need to get rid of the dunk contest.
Ja Morant I would love to see John Morant in the dunk contest.
Dude, they don't have John Morant will win hands down. First off,
Hands
number
down.
one,
Dude's got
like,
hops.
That dude is like they made him in the lab. He's from South Carolina, but he was made in the lab. He just dumps too high.
I just the fact that everybody, literally everybody, was just trashing the dunk contest while it was going on. Dwayne Wade was saying it himself. Like, he's like, none of these are dunk contest dunks.
Listen,
and you knew Obi Toppin was going to win. You knew it. And I'm cool with it because Obi Toppin is a dunker.
I get it. I'm not mad about Obi Toppin winning. I'm just, my thing is, if you don't start getting more premier names in the dunk contest, you might as well just cancel it. Just cancel it.
You know,
because
there was not one dunk from Saturday night that earned a 50.
No, and it shouldn't have been because none of that shit was worthy of a 50. Like, it's whatever. I don't think we should spend more time on this shitty dunk contest.
Okay, so what about the All-Star game?
Now, for me, the All-Star game is worth it. Because now what they've done is they've made games within the game. You got to win every quarter, and then the fourth quarter is the climax. Well, we got to see something very cool. We got to see a shooting exhibition by Steph Curry. Like, I mean, I knew the dude could shoot before because I played with him in high school.
He couldn't miss.
It was ridiculous, the things that he was doing. It was like he was just throwing it up there. Like, you know how hard
he hit the half-court shot. He shoots it up with half-court and turns around because he knows it's going. I'm like, it was a half-court shot.
I'm tired of it. Steph Curry is a cheat code. You got to pick this dude up as soon as he gets out of his car from being dropped off at the arena. And you got to play defense on him as soon as he walk in the arena. Like, he makes a shot from the breezeway every game when he plays at Oracle. And it's a great name for a stadium.
Ooh. But it was a great game. It was competitive. And you look, they goofed around for the first half. They were, and that's what's going to happen because nobody wants to get hurt.
Right.
I will say my man Nikola Jokic was getting a little too aggressive with my man Joel Embiid.
Listen, he had to. Jokic letting him know straight up, if you're gonna get it, you're gonna earn it. And I'm not mad about that, Jokic. If that's your competition in real life, you can't take no days off. Joel, you're not getting no days off when you play Jokic because Jokic ain't that type of dude. He's from like the Soviet Union or Serbia or somewhere like that. He's about that life. He had to eat beans out of a can. So
yeah, Embiid had some great dunks. Embiid had some dunks that would have won him the dunk contest in the game.
I mean, yes, the
7-foot-tall windmill. That's enough for me.
All I'm saying is, while we're doing all this, we need to point out a very particular. And somebody brought this up today: is LeBron James the face of the NBA still?
Yes,
I believe he is still the face of the NBA.
100%.
Unfortunately, that gap is closing because the more and more Steph Curry does, I didn't know that he had 3 championships.
Mm-hmm.
So he's only has one less than LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens if he gets another one this year?
What I like about the NBA is that it is the natural transition from the old to the young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You saw it with Darius Garland. Like, they were like, all right, Darius Garland, shoot the ball as much as you want, and then we'll kind of now get off the court so the old timers can play a little bit. So I mean I've always liked that. I like the fact that LeBron came flat out and said, my last year in the league will be on the same team as Bronny.
I'm not mad about that. My thing with LeBron is, okay, now I'm gonna say this, and I think this is the way people are treating LeBron possibly heading back to Cleveland is good for basketball. Because LeBron leaves, and let's say he goes back to Cleveland. He makes good on his promise again.
He did.
He's like the savior. I'm gonna come back again to save you from your own.
I don't think he's got that ability anymore, and he would mess too much with that young core that they have.
I don't know though. Like LeBron this year and next year, LeBron might be kind of he's winding up. Only thing that he's doing is trying to get himself ready to go wherever team his son's going to be on. So it doesn't need to be a long-term deal or anything like that. Even if it's just to give those guys some leadership because they won't have any. I think all they got is what's his name? The guy that played with LeBron the last time in Cleveland. White guy, can shoot pretty good. Had mental health issues.
Kevin Love.
Kevin Love. Yeah. I mean, that's the only veterans they really got. I mean,
LeBron James is still the face of the NBA. He is still not the GOAT of the NBA.
nope, never the GOAT.
Michael Jordan is the GOAT, always will be. Michael Jordan got a louder pop than LeBron did in Cleveland. But what it came down to is you look at the overall arc of LeBron's career. He's in Cleveland. He gets close. He makes a whole big spectacle. He leaves. He goes to Miami. He wins some championships there. He comes back to Cleveland. He makes good on his promise. They were okay with him leaving at that point.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Right. He made good on his promise. And that's why he kind of got away with it. Now, I want to discuss, and I know you have not really seen it, the NBA 75 list.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
All right, so I'm gonna put this up here. I'm going to show you the list. So this is the 75-year anniversary of the NBA, and there's no way you can read that. So let's see if I can make it any bigger at all.
Oh, it's perfect.
So we're not on the screen right now, but I'm going to take that overlay down. Yeah, give me 1 second. All right, so some of these names are 100% absolutely perfect. Agreed. Totally. Just from your first glance, are there any names that are not on here that should be, or any names that do not deserve to be on here?
Paul Arizin out. Dave Bean out.
So you're going just pulling all the NBA history guys.
Yeah, like Dave.
So what they did, just so you know, is a lot of them is if you made the 50-year team, you stayed on.
Nah, I don't care about that. I'm out. I want you off. Dave DeBusschere off.
A lot of these guys you have to keep because they won championship after championship in the 50s, 60s, 70s.
I don't give a shit about that. Nobody cares about the 50s. They didn't even play with a 10-foot net in the 60s. I don't care about that. They didn't have a 3-point line.
I got to pause you because you skipped a name for me that is prematurely on this list.
What name?
Giannis Antetokounmpo is not supposed to be on this list yet.
Nah, Giannis should be on there. Giannis should be on there because
he's got 6 years in the league.
It doesn't matter. In the 6 years that he's got, he's already got a chip. Jordan didn't have a chip in 6 years.
I think Giannis is premature.
He's not, man. I'm telling you, Giannis isn't going down with the greatest of all time.
He will, so he'll be on the 100-year team. I don't think he should be on the 75.
I believe he does. I mean, he's just as great as the guy right beside him, Kevin Garnett. He's a hybrid player. He's a
Kevin Durant.
I'm sorry. Well, yeah, Kevin Durant, 7-footer. I thought it was Kevin Garnett at first. I had to look at
Garnett's a little bit further down.
But yeah, I mean, listen, Giannis has to be on this list. Pat Ewing, Clyde Drexler, all good. Walt Frazier, good. Kevin Garnett, George Gervin, yes. Hall Greer. I'm not so sure about Hall Greer, but they got James Harden on this shit, and James Harden haven't won shit. So
Harden is one of those like all-time great shooters.
I mean, I'll give you that, but then you got to give it to Giannis because Giannis has the championships, and Giannis deserves to be on there. If you're able to put James Harden on there, you should damn sure be able to put Giannis on there. Magic, Sam Jones. I don't know why he's on there. Jason Kidd. I like the Jason Kidd ad because people forget about Jason Kidd a lot of times. I like Pistol Pete by McAdoo. Kevin McHale is kind of a reach, I believe, but he could be on there.
What do you think about Anthony Davis being on this list?
AD. I mean, AD, honestly, you got to because he's kind of a hybrid, man. These hybrid guys kind of belong on there because they don't really like fall under a certain category. Like they should because they're 7 feet tall, but the things that they can do makes them unguardable. Like,
all right, so then let's do this, right? You're looking at this, and again, like one of the ones for me that I hated right away was, Russell Westbrook, but at the same time, he's the all-time leader in triple doubles.
Triple doubles, yeah. I mean, Russ he's deserved. I mean,
Adam Ewing's on the list, and Ewing should be on the list. He was in Space Jam. That gets him on there automatically.
Charles Barkley's on there.
Is he?
I think
Charles Barkley's on there.
He has to be on there. Dwayne Wade, Wes Unseld, Jerry West, Bill Walton. Michael Jordan. Why is not Michael Jordan not the number one name? That's my biggest.
So it's not ranked like that. It's just listed.
Is it in?
This is alphabetical.
Okay.
All right. So let me do this now. I'm going to give you some names that were not on the list, and you tell me if they should be on the list.
Okay.
So let me back this out a little bit so we can put our faces back on, because I feel like that's important right now.
Is Steve Kerr not on this list?
Steve Kerr is not on the list.
Oh, bro, he got to get on that list, B.
Okay, well, listen to some of these names that were also not on the list. Ready?
All right, go ahead.
Dwight Howard.
I don't need Dwight Howard on the list. I'm all right with that.
Why? He was Shaq 2.0.
He wasn't, though.
I know.
So it's like,
but I think if you look at the athleticism, you look at the championships, you look at the rebounding. He said so many rebounding different things. The slam dunk stuff. I mean, he is definitely. If this is the 75 best players in NBA history, he's got to be like 76.
I mean, he's right outside, but he's not one of those.
Well, 77, because one of these other names I'm going to give you is a flat out snub.
Go ahead.
All right, so Dwight Howard, you say he would be a borderline guy.
Yep.
All right.
Robert Horry has to be on this list, and he's not.
He is not.
Robert Horry, off the cuff, right off the cuff.
Because of the championships?
Well, because he hit so many big shots, like
Big Shot Bob. Yeah, he's not on the list. Neither is Paul Gasol.
Paul Gasol isn't on the list.
He is not on the list.
Him or Mark Gasol aren't on this list.
Nope.
Is Nowinski? Oh, I was about to say they
Dirk is on. Dirk is on.
Yeah, Dirk has to be on.
What are your thoughts about Dikembe Mutombo not being on the list?
He's fine. I mean, his philanthropy should make him be on the list alone. So,
I mean,
yeah, he should be on
iconic. That finger wave, iconic.
And that's just not Sixer stuff. That's whatever.
Yao Ming not on the list. I think he plays a longer career. I think he's on the list, no problem.
Some of these people are just ambassadors, and they putting these radio personalities on here. I don't think they belong on here. That's a different list. Give me a different.
Who's that?
list.
Who do you see? Wait, who needs to come off?
Paul Arizin. Is Bob Costas not on this damn list?
Bob
no,
Costas
he's not. He should be on there. We mentioned this guy earlier, Ahmad Rashad. If you're gonna put these randos on here, you put the original. Those guys. Those two need to be on the list.
I got other ones for you.
All right, let's go.
Penny Hardaway again, same thing, cut short.
Penny he had a little man named Little Penny, and he was like the hottest thing on the street.
Injuries.
Penny deserved to be on the list. Injuries did screw him over.
Same with Tracy McGrady not being on the list.
T-Mac. No, T-Mac was a dog.
Not on the list. Injuries.
I don't care about that. Who the hell is Dave DeBusschere?
One of the great. Everyone from the top 50 list made it.
I don't give a shit about that. The new list means time. Like, get these guys off of here.
Okay, if you're upset about T-Mac, I got other ones for you.
I don't want to keep doing this. This is really
Tony Parker is not on this list.
TP. That's the whole reason for the Euro step. These guys will not even be able to do the Euro step without TP. Or Ginobili. Ginobili's not on there either?
Ginobili is not on the list.
B, what the F, bro? This is Spurs bias. I got a feeling. This is Popovich not on the list?
No, well, that's the 15 coaches. That was a different list.
Where's
Matt would like to know where Eric Snow is. I agree. But the name that is not on this list, Vince Carter, is not one of the 75 greatest players in NBA history.
BC played for 185 years.
I think he's still training.
He could go back tomorrow.
I'm fine with it.
Dominique
Vince Carter
Wilkins is on there.
Wilkins is on the list. Yep. So is Lenny
Wilkins. They misspelled their name, or are they not related?
They're not related.
That's debatable.
Vince Carter is not listed as one of the 75 greatest players in NBA history.
Steve Kerr should be on the list for a player and a coach.
Automatically, for me, makes this list null and void.
Yeah, Vince Carter not being on this and it might be some bias because him and Tracy McGrady are cousins. So I feel like that should have been on the list just because you don't get that many great players that are actually related to each other.
Now, here is one thing that bugs the crap out of me is the greatest coaches list.
You got that list too?
Do I have that list too? Come on, buddy. I got to figure out the best way to bring it up. Give me a second now.
Just screenshot it. And I don't need to be on the screen for this.
I'm working on it. Hang on.
Waiting for tonight.
Oh. Well. Open a new tab. Here we go. All right, here comes.
On this list?
got a funny guy. Funny guy here. All right, here are the 15 greatest coaches in NBA history. Red Auerbach, no question. Larry Brown.
I rock with Larry Brown.
Chuck Daly, okay. Red Holtzman, sure, fine. Phil Jackson, easily. Casey Jones, fine. Steve Kerr, there you go. Don Nelson, fine. Greg Popovich, yup. Jack Ramsey, okay. Pat Riley. Doc Rivers.
What?
Doc Rivers is on this list. So's Eric Spoelstra. Stop
it.
Eric Spoelstra was not a good coach. He happened to have the greatest trifecta ever to play.
Stop it right now. I'm not doing this.
Doc Rivers is not one of the 15 greatest coaches in NBA history.
He's given up more 3-2 leads or 4-2 or 3-1 leads in the history of the NBA. Listen, I'm out. This list is now null and void.
Doc Rivers and Eric Spoelstra make this list null and void for me.
I want somebody's head for this. Whoever did this.
Wait, so Johnny is upset with you for ripping on Paul Arizin.
Listen,
NBA Hall of Famer, 10-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, NBA MVP, NBA champ, Rookie of the Year, 22.3 career points per game in 713 games. There's his case for the top 75.
Where's the last person that you see that knows anything about him other than you, Johnny? Nobody came to your defense of this guy except for you. You had to, and you're the stat man of all time. So I will give you that. He's a stat
man.
You know more stats than anybody I've ever known. But the regular Joe is not going to know by looking at that list who the hell that is.
Brett Brown should be on the 17 or the 15 greatest coaches just for the.
Listen, guys.
I'm not saying that there's better coaches.
Nova Nation, LOL. Listen, I don't care about that, Johnny. This dude does not deserve to be on this damn list.
I'm not saying that there's not 15 better coaches, but then cut the list at 13 because Doc Rivers and Eric Spoelstra should not be. Should not be.
Doc got one championship with a trifecta again, like you said, and he lost one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, the number one on that list should be Phil Jackson, period. Like, Phil Jackson,
the list. That's the list.
Phil Jackson, Red Auerbach, you know. Steve Kerr is making a case now because he's got 3.
Yeah, Spoelstra is still coaching. He's still coaching, and it's been long term. So I'll give him that because he's been coaching for a while.
I don't care about him coaching. Like just because
Tyronn Lue, Mike Brown. If you want to be come on, buddy.
I'm not even gonna say them two. I was gonna say, got Pat Riley. Pat Riley was on there.
Who's the dude that Sprewell choked out?
The Van Gundy brothers?
No, he wasn't a Van Gundy. He was
Oh, no, he's talking about
Oh damn! Who did he choke out?
Latrell Sprewell choked out. I think it wasn't Van Gundy, wasn't it?
Carlissimo. Pat Carlissimo.
Yeah, but Carlissimo didn't win anything, so that's probably why
he won by not getting killed.
You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of this has got something to do with winning. So I understand, Johnny's point to all this stuff, but
all right,
is what it is.
Last segment. You sit through a lot of Eagles talk.
Yeah,
we gonna do a little Steelers talk for you.
I've been waiting all year for this.
So first off, the Steelers hire Brian Flores. I cannot wait to discuss this with you.
Ooh.
And there's talk ramping up that they're going to trade for Carson Wentz.
I hope not.
So let's start with the Brian. Stockton was on there. Stockton was absolutely on the top.
He had to be on there.
He was
did you see was Karl Malone on there?
Karl Malone was on the list.
Oh, okay. All right, bet.
I worry about that too. Karl Malone was right next to Moses Malone.
Okay.
Dame Lillard was on the list.
It's still Dame time.
It's still Dame time. All right, so Brian Flores, who I said a couple weeks ago would never be hired again in the NFL while this was still going on. I got proven wrong. He is now an assistant to an assistant to an assistant in Pittsburgh. What are your thoughts about him going from head coach all the way down to what he's going to be doing?
This is so people don't forget about him. This is what you do. Like, I would do this for a friend. Like, I would do this if my friend got done dirty and I had the opportunity to save my friend from total obscurity, from not just being forgotten. This is the difference between Brian Flores and Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick didn't have a friend that could pick him up and put him on the team.
And he said flat out, he's like, I'm still a QB1 in this league. Well, you were barely a QB1 in San Francisco.
I mean, he got injured. I think he could have played for a lot of teams. He could have been a QB1 somewhere. Like, maybe not at the top, maybe not top notch, but he was a QB1 somewhere.
Right.
So I mean, so this is like basically what I wanted for Colin Kaepernick. I wanted somebody to say, listen, you might not be the caliber of player, but you're still a serviceable player in this league. Let's do this. Flores is a great coach still.
Yes.
But
he was the one all those weeks ago that you and I sat and said he should not have been fired.
Yeah, he shouldn't be. And this is Mike Tomlin doing something that we want all black coaches to do, is reach back and get their and get somebody. So I have a really cool analogy that I use, and I wanted to share this with the fans, is that I'm a believer that the crab mentality shouldn't be what the people use it as. We should change what the crab mentality really is, because we don't know the thought process with crabs. We just know that we think that the crabs are trying to pull other crabs into the barrel. Well, what if it's opposite? What if the other crab are just trying to get up to the top and they don't know how to do it without pulling that person down? So we need more people who are the top crab to reach down willingly and pull people up, because you're going to be able to control if you fall on that, because you can make sure you got a good grip.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to do that. I want to stop saying the crab mentality is people pulling other people down. They just don't know any other way to get up there. So let's just show them a better way. So this is basically Mike Tomlin exercising his crab mentality in the right way and going back and getting a person or a brother that he sees is going down, is getting a raw deal. Like,
right. And Mike Tomlin is hella respected in this league. Oh yeah. So the fact that he's like, you know what? Yeah, I know you have whatever you got going on. I know you got the lawsuit. I know you got this. I know you got that. But you're still a valuable football mind, and I want you on my team.
And it's scary. And for me as a Steelers fan, it's scary now thinking that he's going to be over my linebacker. Pittsburgh has historically had great linebackers.
Levon Kirkland comes right to my mind.
James Harrison.
I know. I just
low-hanging fruit. Let me take that. And I believe, honestly, Troy Polamalu was actually a linebacker.
He was a hybrid. Safety. Yep.
He just played safety, but he was really a linebacker. So we've had great linebackers all through the years. The list could go on, but this is the place where linebackers.
Kevin
Green, yeah. These are real life players. And now you put a coach that's supposed to be a head coach now scheming up a defense and now working with an already great defense. Now he's going to be working with TJ Watt, because sometimes they put TJ Watt at linebacker.
Oh my God.
Listen, I am excited. I am beyond the moon for this, because this is
I love it.
I love it.
And I'm so happy that Brian Flores got that hand extended to him, because like I said, he should not have been fired. And then he did the right thing to say, look, this is what's been going on. This is wrong. It's been happening historically. I am willing to end my NFL career
to fix this. And Mike Tomlin said, you're not ending anything.
Come with us. Fight your battle.
But come with us.
Yeah,
come with us. Like, this is
now, do you feel the same way about all the Carson Wentz to Pittsburgh talk?
All right, listen. I have gone on record saying that I believe Carson Wentz is garbage can juice. I've gone on record. I've been saying he's a porcelain passer. I have a T-shirt with porcelain passer on there with his picture on the back. And I haven't changed that thought process. I still believe that Carson Wentz is a screw up. I don't believe he has the talent that he had. I think his confidence is lacking. We don't need that in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is just a harder place to play as it is Philly. And they're both blue-collar towns. We don't take a lot. We don't take keenly to losing. Actually, we don't lose very much. And when we do lose, losing seasons are 500 for us. So we don't do losing very well. So to see the guy that had a playoff berth in his hands and lost to the Goldilocks of Trevor Lawrence is not. And then he's going into the AFC. So the AFC is stacked right now with quarterbacks.
Right. So for Carson Wentz, who has always struggled with competition, he can never be even a top 5 quarterback in the AFC as of right now.
Not right now. And furthermore from that,
he won't fight for it either. He won't fight for
it. And we haven't been great at developing talent at quarterback because it's obvious. We have 3 or 4 quarterbacks that neither one of them can hold the jockstrap of a 50-year-old quarterback at this point. Our best option this year was to play a 50-year-old freaking Ben Roethlisberger to the dude literally could not walk around anymore. Like, he should have been in a nursing home 3 years ago.
So let me ask you this. Say this trade does happen. Out of the choices that you have, Mason Rudolph, Dwayne Haskins, or Carson Wentz.
Why do you love doing this to me? Why do you love putting me on the spot? So I got to make decisions I don't want to make.
Listen to me. I was nice and said we will talk Steelers. I did not say I would be nice about it.
Okay, you know what?
There you go. That's I've changed the color scheme.
Now
I'm being nice about it.
That is big. That's a big move. So you know what? I'll do this. I will answer your question.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But I have a reason why I'm picking this person. And I am going to take Haskins as my quarterback. Don't say ew.
I'm gonna say ew.
Don't
try and talk me out of my ew.
Okay, check this out. We've saw 7 years of Carson Wentz, and we know what he can do. We've already seen his best years. His best years are behind him. And if he doesn't have a great offensive line, he can't do very much. I don't trust him in big games because we saw him what he did last year with the big games. He just didn't. His running back had to.
He had a great offensive line in Indianapolis, and he still couldn't do the job.
So now that makes me to believe no. The reason that I say Haskins is because we've only got a small sample size of Haskins in the NFL. I mean, a minuscule sample size of such a small sample size that I really don't even remember what he did when he did play. So
I know he was a dum-dum when it came to
off the field stuff. Yeah.
But
see, the thing about it is you didn't hear about shit about him last year. Under Tomlin, a lot of the shenanigans go out the window, because he doesn't tolerate it. So I believe that this year we didn't see Haskins because they've been breaking him completely down, starting him from bare scraps. He played in no games outside of the preseason. And to be honest with you, in the preseason games that he did play in, he did play pretty well. He didn't play bad because I watched him. He was doing everything. So I think they gave him a gap year, so to speak, in Pittsburgh. And I'm hoping that is so they can play him at the quarterback position, but go and draft another quarterback. We don't want guys with bad habits. We don't need Carson Wentz. He's got bad habits.
Nothing but bad habits.
He's always he damn near dies on the field every time he gets out there.
Every play is hero ball. He holds the ball too damn long. He makes bad reads, bad choices, throws off the back foot. Nothing has gotten better. He had one MVP caliber season. Then there was some tape on him, a couple hits, and that was it.
Yeah, I'm not pressed on. So I would say I would take Haskins. He's the younger out of the 3. He's unproven, but none of them are proven. Out of the other 2 candidates, none of them have won shit. So yeah, at this point, I take Nick Foles. Like if I'm given the option,
shit, I'll take Nick Foles.
Give me my boy, BDN.
I wanted to ask you that question because
which one would you take
out of those 3?
Yeah,
Carson Wentz.
Wow. Why?
So Mason Rudolph. His greatest hit CD was taking a helmet to the head.
Nice. That's true.
Thank you.
I like that very much.
Thank you. I watched enough of Haskins in Ohio State.
He played well at Ohio State. You can't say that.
But no NFL quarterback that has ever come out of Ohio State has been worth a damn. And until Justin Fields breaks that narrative, that will still be the narrative.
Well, Joe Burrow just made it to the NFL.
He's not, but he left Ohio State.
But
he does not count. He does not count. He was LSU.
Nope. He played at Ohio State though. He
doesn't count.
He does count.
He does not break the narrative. He is LSU. He's LSU.
I'm an Ohio State. Like he literally says it all the time. He's still Ohio.
He's
State.
LSU.
He's Ohio State, dude. You cannot
He's
take
LSU.
that from him. He even played for Urban Meyer.
He's LSU.
You gotta stop the madness.
No, he's LSU.
You gotta stop the madness, brother.
Dwayne Haskins, from when he came in and played for Washington, was inaccurate. He was jumpy. It was poor decisions. It was back foot throws. It was every single.
Have you ever thought that maybe he played for a shit team and a shit organization? Like, have we
Sure.
ever thought about that? I believe that I think Haskins got a raw deal. I think there was.
I don't necessarily think you're wrong.
And I think that because of that's what we have. That is the sample size that we have of him.
Mm-hmm.
He's no worse than Trevor Lawrence was this year.
I think that Trevor Lawrence is straight garbage. So that doesn't help.
I'm not gonna say that, but I mean that's what I'm saying. Like he's no worse. But watch what he does with Doug this year. Doug. And if you get uninvited to the best tweakers,
Jacksonville is the Cleveland of the NFL now.
Damn, that's hurtful.
No, I think out of those three, at least you have a more of a resume for Carson Wentz.
Right.
And no matter where he goes at this point, he's got to compete one more time for the job. They can't fire sale anybody with a quarterback resume because Carson Wentz is not good enough. And at this point, it's the last chance for him. It is the 100%. Matt, you stop it.
Ooh, Matt, you
like
stop
that.
it. I like that.
Matt, you absolutely stop it.
That would never
because
happen.
Think about what's in that AFC. Neither of these two teams are even close.
Whoa, watch your mouth. We're only a quarterback away. Like that's real rap.
But I gave you your three quarterbacks.
No, we can't. Carson Wentz isn't really in the running. Like these are all like
fine. I gave you two quarterbacks.
Even if I gotta take there, I don't know enough about Haskins to think that he's bad. I'm being honest. Like he played on a crappy organization. Like look,
Matt, it would be all kinds of fun.
Listen, there's so many things that said that we hate Snyder. We think that Snyder has buried dead babies in his backyard or something. But my thing is with Snyder is the organization was so volatile that even if Haskins had the mental fortitude to make it there, they didn't have anybody. They didn't have Ron Rivera then. Like they didn't have the guy. They didn't have the kind of like the cohesiveness. If
you say that they lacked a commander.
I see what you did there. I like that. They did lack it, and because they did, it's hard for a rookie quarterback to come in and command the team. Like we've seen it on multiple different levels. Like I think.
Yeah, Adam makes a really good point. Might draft a quarterback or proven veteran, but if you draft a quarterback that does not put you in contention in the first year,
maybe not. But we don't need to get it.
Not with this quarterback class.
We don't. Okay, so let me say this: Malik Willis, and we're going to have this breakdown of these guys, and I can't wait to have Johnny on here. But I think the world of Malik Willis. I really do. I like him, and I like Matt Corral. If I got to pick two, I know
the injury scares me. I know it's an injury, but he'll come back from it.
He'll come back from it. We just watched Joe Burrow go through the same thing. Joe Burrow was in the Super Bowl this year. So I'm not injuries in this day and age don't scare me unless they don't come back the same. Now, if you're like
Carson Wentz
and you don't come back the same, then that's different. But I don't think that that's Matt Corral. I think he's got a little bit more grit than that. And on top of it, how can I say this and not sound like an asshole? Okay, here we go. When it comes to going out and getting a veteran quarterback, there's still a lot of quarterbacks that are out there floating around that haven't picked the team yet. So there's still the Deshaun Watson kind of up in the air. We don't know what's going on with him, but rumors are saying that he's about to settle. And it may be a large cash amount that they're not going to say what the number is.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to play
what if?
We're going to play match 'em of quarterbacks in this offseason. I think we're going to do that next week. I hadn't chatted with you about that, but I think we're going to play like where should they go?
Yeah, and I think there's still Russell Wilson still out there. And now there's talks about Kyler Murray possibly wanting out of Arizona. There's a lot of things happening. Aaron Rodgers still hasn't found a landing spot. And it'll be easy for people to say, hey, don't go to the Steelers, but Steelers are still one of the biggest historic places to play football.
True.
They have a great defense, they have great receivers, and they have a really young running back that is a stud.
At this point, I don't think that Tom Brady's necessarily done.
Yeah, he is. He retired already, dog. That's it.
I hear you.
He can't come to the Steelers. We can't accept him here.
I didn't say come to the Steelers. He's going to stay somewhere warm.
I think he's done, dude. I think he's done. I mean, and let's be 100. Let's be 100. I want a banger. If I'm gonna go get me a quarterback, the Steelers need a guy that can take the scrutiny. They need a guy that can handle Mike Tomlin being very critical on them, and they need a guy that's tough. And I think Russell Wilson is the guy. I honestly believe that Russ is our guy.
Hi, there you go. Matt suggesting that Brett Favre comes and plays quarterback for you guys.
I hate Brett Favre, so that's not
Brett Favre.
Favre.
Well, that's what I got, man. We talked some Steelers for you tonight.
Appreciate it.
We talked about the NBA and the snub list and the All-Star weekend and Juwan Howard and all that good stuff. It was a little light on the shenanigans tonight, but I appreciate you. No, Matt, we know what you were suggesting. I was being a rude face. I'm sorry. You, my boy Blue. The Flyers suck. We have Matt and I in the first season of Chips and Dish spent a lot of time talking, me to the camera, him to the comment section, about the Philadelphia Flyers. And my God, they are terrible.
Yep, they're
not even worth talking about how bad they are.
I've been hearing grumblings that they're going to get a WNBA team and get rid of the Flyers because they have to share Wells Fargo. So I think that'll be a good look. And plus, I want to see a WNBA team in Philly.
Well, there needs to be a WNBA team in Philly. But now the Flyers aren't going anywhere. But I have an issue with the idea of the Matt, our friendship has destroyed the Flyers. Yeah, I know. There was a time when Monday nights were glorious. And
I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. The Flyers are not going anywhere because, Philadelphia and the blue collarness of it all, they were built on Broad Street, and hockey is there is the Eagles, and then there is whatever is in season.
The Sixers are a pretty good spot.
Sixers are pretty good. We didn't even talk about the Sixers. We will discuss next week the Harden debut on Friday night.
Actually, I got a proposition, but we'll make it offline. I'm setting something up, and I want you to be a part of it. So
I'm in. I'm in. All right, real quick, run through the sponsors again. Again, I'm Chip at Chip for the Birds. This is JD at _Oracle from _net. We do this every Monday night unless it's Valentine's Day, in which case we have women to tend to. So we didn't do that last week.
What did Tila say? 10 to them. We got in trouble for saying the word 10. We can't say 10, so we gotta use another word.
We tended.
She put something up about us tending to it, and I said,
"Oh no, she's my flower."
She said because you had cut your bush with the Manscaped.
No, that was nothing to do with it. No, stop it.
Yeah, you're nasty.
I mean, I'm sure I did say that. Anyway, sponsors, Triple Threat Bets at triplethreatwagers.com. Make sure you're checking them out. They are a big sponsor of us. La Terrain Luxury Watches. Make sure you are checking them out. We appreciate them. Use the code AATBirds at checkout for 10% off. Symbol.com, stock market for sports. Code AATSports when you sign up. Statement Game is a fun, free twist on fantasy sports. Check them out. The AATSportsNetwork.com/shop. And, of course, Manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Use the code AATBirds for 20% off and free shipping at checkout. Lots of cool things happening on the AAT Sports Network. What is happening on the D Drippy Network?
Oh, we're technically in a break right now. We're trying to switch over to NBA.
We're on a break.
We're just on a break. We're switching over to NBA talk. We still got U3 going, but we're trying to make the transition to NBA. Getting ready for the NFL draft, so we're going to start having NFL draft shows. Of course, I already mentioned Johnny coming on, doing some things with us. Hopefully, getting ready for the season. Hopefully, we can get Mike on here for some college basketball talk, some NCAA talk, and then NBA finals and playoff talk headed towards the summer.
Playoffs,
guys, playoffs. So So shout out to Chris who checked in, Adam, Michael, Mikey, Adam, Tila.
Yo, love it.
Tila, Matt. All you guys who chime in, man, you make this show what it is. We can't do this without you guys. You know what I'm saying? We cannot do this show. We'll just be two guys talking on the phone, basically. But you guys make it worth your comments. Even if we don't put them up all the time, we see your comments. We read them. A lot of times, if you see us chuckling, especially me, if you see me chuckling and I ain't said nothing in a while, it's because I'm reading through the comments. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all you guys do, and thank you. Keep supporting us.
Yeah, I mean this show, this is, like I said, this is season 2 of it. I brought JD on because I wanted, a buddy up in here. And this has been just an absolutely amazing experience to be able to interact with everybody like this. Like, I love it. I absolutely love it. So that being said, I'm going to wrap this on up. We got to play a commercial. Mikey, sign out so you don't see it again. I'm still your teacher, so that's always awkward to discuss in the hallways the next morning in a middle school.
And I'm signing off. So I know you guys got a meeting with the big guys. So until next time, guys, I'm out of here too.
Who needs Stephen A when you have Chip and Drip? I love it. All right, here's a commercial about Manscaped. Peace out, people.
Exciting news from our friends at Manscaped, who just launched their 4th generation performance package. This ultimate package includes the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Manscaped, the leaders in male grooming, have done it again to make your grooming game next level. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with the new Performance Package 4.0 by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the code AATBirds. The Performance Package 4.0 by Manscaped has arrived, and oh man, it was worth the wait. Inside this package, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. First off, the new Performance Package 4.0 includes the new Lawnmower 4.0. This trimmer is insane, and dare I say, the greatest ball trimmer ever? Yeah, I said it. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multifunction on-off switch, and can engage a travel lock. And it gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when you need a more precise shave. Oh, and did I mention this trimmer is waterproof too? You thought that was good, but want to take your grooming game even further to the next level? The Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker to chop your worst weeds up top in your nose and ear. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and uses a 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual-blade system. This nose and ear hair trimmer provides proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate holes. Seal the deal with Manscaped's liquid formulations, their Crop Preserver ball deodorant before leaving the house, and Crop Reviver ball toner for a mid-game ball check. Trust me when I say this, fellas, your balls will be thanking you. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Bring your comfort and boxers to another level. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code AATBirds at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code AATBirds at manscaped.com. Your balls have been through enough this past year. Treat them with the best tools for the job with Manscaped. Your balls will thank you.